So after all of this occurred, like, how do you feel about it?
I don't really take it personally, but I am like kind of horrified just to know that the system failed me. You know, I've always had faith in the system to the degree that, you know, even my son wants to be a law enforcement officer, and to this day he says, "Dad, how do you feel about me being the police?" And I tell him, I say, "Hey son, long as you're an honest officer, long as you're honest and long as you're, you know, it's hard to explain transparency to like a kid, but long as you don't have anything to hide and you don't join the wrong crowd if you're a law enforcement officer, it's still a different crowd that you can join." But I feel blessed to be able to be here, to be able to speak and give an account on the events. I'm proud of myself because, you know, I told myself one day I'll be able to tell the story and be able to tell people about how I struggled on the ground and how they gave me no treatment in the back of the ambulance.
Do you feel like there should be any charges towards the officer who did this to you?
Unfortunately, yes, because to the best of my knowledge, officers, they follow protocol. Officer Robertson, he broke numerous protocols. He didn't render any aid. He was very vicious with his approach.
How many days was it before you actually got a chance to talk to a lawyer and talk to your family?
Oh, well, that was it was actually 14 days, 12 days of me being in seclusion. I was actually kidnapped for 12 days. Like I tell my dad, if it wasn't for one of the actual individuals that was on the scene, I would have been missing for 2 weeks. They wouldn't let me call anybody. They wouldn't release information about me being dead or alive. I was off of the grid for 2 weeks. So it was about 14 days before I was actually able to contact any type of counsel. But to my understanding, my mother and them immediately sent a lawyer by the name of Keith Denslow down to Centera Hospital, which he was later denied. And then my dad, you know, told him adamantly, you can't, he didn't take no for an answer. So he sent Keith Denslow back to the police chief, and the police chief totally denied him entry into the hospital.
During this period, you had asked for a lawyer personally and phone calls multiple times.
Right. I immediately told myself that I wanted my family to see all of these patches and these bullet holes, and I immediately asked to call my parents, and they said that you're going to have to ask the police first. But once I got down to the room, it was officers in there, and I clearly asked the officers, could I use the phone? And they told me that I couldn't use the phone. So then I said, well, can I call a lawyer? And then he'll be able to call my family. And they said, you won't be able to call anybody. And then that's when I became greatly feared. I'm like, okay, well, what's my charges? We know that you're going to be charged with some felony, so you need to stay patient. Well, every day I was patient for 12 days, and they didn't let anybody into the hospital.
So at what point did they charge you with anything while you were in the hospital? When were you informed that you are being charged with a crime?
2 investigators, they came and they briefly stayed for about 2 minutes. And upon me giving them an account on what happened, they left immediately. You know, they said that I was too emotional and too something, and I said, no, I'm only crying because I was at work and I was, you know, trying to be a good citizen, and I was shot. And then they explained to me that they would come back. And that was like day number 5 or day number 6, but they never came back. They never came back. I begged different people to talk to somebody, to talk to a superior, which I never was able to talk to anybody.
So the entire time that you are in the hospital, they never charged you with a crime or informed you at all that you were charged with a crime?
Never. Well, they never told me, and actually the doctors never, I had to even ask the doctors, like, what am I being charged with? Because the police wouldn't talk to me at all, and then the doctors, they wouldn't talk to me. They weren't telling me about my health situation. I was scared because I remember coughing up blood clots every day. I actually coughed up about 2 pints of blood, this black blood. I'd never been shot, so it was like, wow. You know, I guess every about 10 or 15 minutes, I would begin to cough up blood out of this lung that had collapsed. This lung collapsed over here. They put a chest tube in, and I didn't know what was going on. But I did know that the chest tube was sucking out blood, bad blood that was leaking into my lung. I did know that.